Hey, Kevin here from selfreliantlife.com, and I just wanted to give you a little sort of an update. We're getting ready to go through a transition in the kitchen here, and I kind of debated about doing a walkthrough of the kitchen as it stands, just because it's makeshift. But you know what? I think it's educational, and so I went ahead and decided to do it. We created a sort of a makeshift kitchen on the fly here when we moved into the house last fall, and because we were still working on a lot of other parts of the house that had priority to make it livable, and so we put together a kitchen of sorts with what we had, and that's what we've been functioning with, and it's been working out just fine. I mean, aesthetically it's, you know, is what it is, but functionally it's served its purpose. And so I just thought I'd give you a little option here about what you could do in the interim. And one of the things that you know, we obviously haven't finished the kitchen because here I am standing in it as it stands today, but we do have appliances on the way, and so we thought, well, we better capture this real quick before it really changes drastically, and just kind of let you know what you know, a possibility for a kitchen is as a interim staging point, so that you could move into your house before it's finished, because that's one of our things that we've done over the course of years when we've built, is move in unfinished and kind of work around it and so forth. So we had some cabinets, pieces and parts that came out of another project, and we held on to a couple of them and set them in here temporarily just because they helped us with some storage options for kitchenware and so forth. And this is a piece of plywood that was left over from putting the walls up, and so it served as a temporary countertop, and we'd already had it sealed, so that worked out real nice. And we've got some, you know, we got to have our coffee machine in the morning to make our espressos, and so that is one of the things that we've been carrying through the project. We did get a little tired of just one skillet meals, so we broke down and bought ourselves a little toaster oven, which has given us some, you know, a little more range to cooking options and so forth. And so that was just a very inexpensive, you know, piece that really helped us out a little bit. And then we had this mop sink or laundry sink sitting back in a corner somewhere, and so we pulled it out, and we had this faucet that also happened to be with these cabinets, and we stuck it on there and plumbed it in. Gave us a great big huge sink. You don't have any problem putting pots and pans in here and having enough space and so forth, so that worked out. And then we just had some shelving that we had out in our shed, and we brought them in just to kind of carry all the foodstuffs, because we don't have any cabinetry in here yet. Put the microwave up here. We've had this microwave for a while. And then I've had this, how long have I had this camp stove?
At least 20 years.
Or longer. I mean, since the kids were little. And so we just drug this thing out and hooked it up to a propane tank, and we haven't finished using that tank yet. It's been in here for, what, 6 months? Anyway, and I don't know how much is left in there, but anyway, another piece of wood here that was leftovers from this part of the construction in the kitchen, 2 foot by 4 foot piece, so we laid it across here as a sort of a counter space and somewhere to put the little camp stove. And we've just, you know, kind of got a hodgepodge of boxes and crates and so forth that we're using just to kind of carry stuff through. And Anissa pointed out the other day that some of the foodstuffs that we moved in here, we moved over here with, and it's been sitting in storage, and then we brought it out, and it's been sitting in here since we moved in here last fall, and we haven't touched it. So we're probably going to purge. And you know, this is a really small kitchen. It's about 10 by 10 across these 2 walls in the corner here. And we put it up against the walls because this really, when you're working in a small space like this, to have a kitchen protruding out really eats up a lot of floor space. So, you know, when you've got it over here, and if you got the fridge in the So this is an old fridge. I'm jumping around a little bit, but this is an old fridge we've had. I think it's 35 years old, isn't it? It's been our backup sort of basement.
We've had it for 30.
Yeah, basement fridge. At one time it was our primary refrigerator way back in the day when we were building the last house. And then it got kind of relegated to the dungeon, and we had a big side-by-side because we had 4 kids and needed all the space. But we hung on to this thing for whatever reason, I don't know, but it did wind up coming in handy because, I mean, we've just had it forever. It's a little 18 cubic foot refrigerator.
It's a Gibson.
And it works like a champ. I mean, the darn thing has, you know, outlived a lot of other appliances over the years and still plugging along, so didn't cost us anything. We already had it. We put it in here. It's been, you know, again, functional. So, you know, just having this layout like this, so the new refrigerator is going to go here. It's a little bit bigger than this, but we decided to stay with the same freezer and refrigerator, you know, double door like this rather than those giant monsters, because it's just the 2 of us and there just seems silly to have that much. So we're going to be moving this guy out tonight or tomorrow because they're bringing the new appliances tomorrow. And eventually the stove will be here. There'll be a small cabinet between the 2, and then countertop all the way around to the other side over here, and then upper cabinets in the corners and across the top. Probably, I don't know, I don't remember all the lineal footages of cabinet and counter, but it's not a bunch. It's just it's a small kitchen. And
the sink's gonna be right about where it's at, a little bit over
maybe
towards the door.
That way a little bit. But the thing is we're making do with what we had, and that was really the gist of the reason for going ahead and doing this video. We're making do with what we had. It's a kind of a hodgepodge of this, that, and the other thing that we made work out for us temporarily while we were working on other parts of the house and you know, focusing on some other areas. But this is going to be a big focus here shortly, so we're going to see a lot of transition here, and I thought I'd just capture this and let you see what it looked like prior to the big changeover, and then we'll get you some updates. We did put the track lighting up that we wanted, and it's really kind of nice because you can, you know, there's 5 lights on each one of these, and you can move them every which way. They're LED, they're very bright, and we want to have a movable island out here, and again, that's the flexibility. It's going to give us a little more counter space, a little more storage space, but it's also on wheels, and so we can kind of move it in and out if we want to use it and bring it up here while we're doing some cooking or whatever, and then we can move it out of the way if we don't want it in tight, or we can turn around and push it over here if we're entertaining and we have a table out here. So one of the things that we also capitalize on was just having some patience, and that's a big part of building a house for cash and not having a 30-year mortgage and being, you know, in debt over your head, is being able to, you know, kind of work with the transitioning of building a home, you know, moving into it when it's not quite finished, and being able to live in it, and which allows us economic, you know, freedom, because we're not spending money to live elsewhere or outside. As soon as we moved into this, we moved in a lot of the stuff that we had in storage that we're paying money to store. So that, you know, became a major, you know, kind of a focus, was to get us out of having all that cost. And so the patience game, we didn't know, we had a budget for appliances, which is stove, refrigerator, microwave, washer and dryer, of $3,500. And because we were patient, because we watched, because we did our research and our due diligence, we waited until we really found what we liked, and we got a washer and dryer for nothing. So we saved a lot of money there, because that was $1,200 or so of that price, and it's perfectly fine. it was used. And then the refrigerator and stove that we just purchased, we got for about half what we were going to spend on those 2 appliances. Super nice pieces, got a lot of great reviews on them, and we just waited until they were the right price, and then we purchased them. We actually wound up doing some online and offline shopping, and wound up getting a better deal purchasing them online, and they're being delivered free, which was nice. And so, you know, saved a lot of money on that. And same thing's going on with the rest of the kitchen, and really, honestly, the entire building project. You know, it's just about picking and choosing and doing your due diligence and weighing your options, and, you know, looking at what alternative materials and so forth that we might use, and you know, what we may like. And we've changed our minds so many times in this project. I've lost track of how many times, you know, iterations that we've gone through as far as you know, what we thought we started out thinking we wanted to do and what we wound up doing in the end. And every time, you know, some of those considerations were obviously cost, certainly aesthetics, and functionality, and within our realm or our wheelhouse of ability to, you know, work on. And so, you know, those things all had to be considered, and just, you know, that due diligence, that you know, thinking things through and not being in a hurry has saved us a ton of money. And it's cost us a little bit of time, but in the long run, since this project has probably started, what, about 2 years ago? And, you know, I figure I'm about 28 years ahead of the curve for mortgage payments. So I'm not, you know, spending 2 years building my house the way I want to get it built and the way we wanted to see it, you know, envisioned, and waiting for the right time to buy these appliances and materials and so forth is really, you know, sent us light years ahead financially. And so that's really what this was all about. And so we're going to be getting some brand new appliances. We'll do a reveal on that. And of course, we've been doing tons and tons of editing of all the footage of this building process. You've seen some of it here on the channel, but we do have a builder's course that we developed as a result of this program, and we've captured in intimate detail the entire building process and the finances behind it. And we have a number of people in the program right now that's the Builders Developers course. I'm just shamelessly plugging that while I'm here. And you know, check it out on our website at selfreliantlife.com. And thanks for watching. Our site's growing daily. We get more and more subscribers all the time, and we get lots of interaction, which I really appreciate, and comments and questions. And you know, we've had a lot of fun with these projects, and a lot of people have been able to benefit from them as well. And so we really appreciate and hope that what we're doing here is helping everybody that wants to, you know, become mortgage free and own their own home and not have that, you know, stress of you know, making a monthly payment. Can you see the kitty on my leg? We have a little kitten who thinks I'm her personal cat toy. So anyway, this is Tiger. And anyway, so I'll wind this up, but just thought I'd give you a little update since we hadn't posted for a bit, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.